The draft has come and go. San Francisco 49ers have made all their selections. They got the undrafted rookie free agents. Deebo Samuel still doesn't want to be a San Francisco 49er. We're going to talk about all that and more. Did the 49ers fill all of their needs? Let's go. Let's get into that. You know what it is. San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Crocker. Over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Welcome to another episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker, fresh off the road, straight from Dallas, covered the draft for the Locked On Network. We'll talk about more of that. But first, make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe and listen to the Locked On 49ers podcast with myself and Brian Peacock. We come at you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Also, subscribe to the Locked On NFL Draft Show with myself and Ryan Tracy. We co-host that. And you already know, man, I got the new podcast, the Not Ideal podcast, where I'm coming at you from more of a business side of things, entrepreneurship, talking about my process. On the next episode, and I'll start having them back on YouTube as well. On the next episode, we got Mama Crocky coming on, Mama Crocky, a.k.a. Wifey Crocky. We got Wifey Crocky coming on, so she's going to be talking about, being married to me, some of the things that she aspires to do, finish up nursing school, all that good stuff. All right, so we get into all the good stuff. But anyways, and there's 3 episodes. I saw somebody was like, both episodes have been good. There have been 3 episodes. They drop every Wednesday. So make sure you guys tune into the Not Ideal podcast. All of those podcasts can be found in the description below. Let's go. I see my 209 folks in the house. Let's go, man. Let's go. Real 209 in the building. I'm fresh off the road. Yesterday, I got back from Dallas, and man, that was a unique experience covering the NFL draft. I don't know if y'all watched. Man, hopefully a lot of y'all watched. I remember first day, by the end of the first day, I know at least on YouTube, there were 20,000 views or over 20,000 views, man. Our production was amazing. That was fun. And it was even better than I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect, actually. The Locked On Network had me go down to Dallas and cover the draft, and it was like some real like ESPN type stuff. I really feel like it was better. Obviously, our production wasn't as great as ESPN, but for what we did and how we did it, man, it was amazing. Listen, what other place can you get the analysis of all the drafts? But then as soon as the pick was made, I would give my analysis. My co-host, the guys on there. We had Isaiah Stanback, former Super Bowl champion, Dallas Cowboy, New England Patriot. He was up there. We were given, our perception on the players, the picks, the analysis, and then we would kick it to the Locked On host of that team. So let's say the Vikings made a pick. We kick it to the Locked On Vikings host. He'd talk about it, and then we would bring on the person that covers the Locked On, whatever, like let's say Locked On Georgia. The Georgia host would come on and talk about it. Dude, it was amazing. Kai did her thing up there, man. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know. So if y'all didn't see that, make sure y'all tune in. I tried to bring the fresh little fits, you know what I'm saying? Little swag to the show. But it was dope, man. It was like some real TV stuff. And I'm not gonna lie. I'll talk to y'all. I try to go every morning. Obviously, I was like super busy last week, so we didn't come on here. My guy Mike says, Croc, you seem super nervous. Man, I was hella nervous. Dude, I talk to y'all 5 days a week. Or 4. When we on, right? Especially during the season. We're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? But right now, a lot of traveling and stuff like that. So I wasn't on last week while I was out there in Dallas. But I'm good talking to y'all. Like this is easy. And I'm on countless podcasts. I do countless amount of radio shows. That's easy. When them lights came on and they hit the live button and you got to talk about a prospect and you're thinking about like, man, am I rambling on? Am I, stuttering? Am I using the right word, like whatever. I mean, all those things are going through your mind while you're talking. I mean, it was tough. He's like, man, you can't mess up. Like, man, y'all, man, y'all are homies. So it was, it's easy. But man, up there, it was like the pressure was on. And now I get it a little bit more when people are like, man, when you get under little bright lights, do you freeze up? Like, cause that was different. That was different, man. But anyways, shout out to everybody that tuned into that. If you haven't already, I'm pretty sure it's on the Locked On NFL YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that, and somehow I'm pretty sure you can find all that. But they did an amazing job. The social media team, they did an amazing job, man. That was great. I can't wait for next year. And I'll be even more prepared next year. And that stuff was dope. I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, we talking about the San Francisco 49ers draft this morning. I'm definitely going to bring y'all on to discuss some of your favorite picks, some of your favorite prospects, things you felt like the 49ers should have done and they didn't do, and you're upset about that and you want to complain. Or, man, I love that they did this and I'm excited about this player. We're going to get to all that. I have started to watch film, and there will be more breakdowns on the Locked On Network. So, Locked On 49ers show. So, I don't know how in depth. Now I gotta give the people what they want. We're gonna talk about that stuff here, and obviously we'll talk in a different way on the Locked On 49ers show, because I know a lot of y'all listen to that as well. But the 49ers I think they did what they should have done. Now, do I agree with every pick? No, but I agree with what they did. All right. So again, I can maybe say, man, I would have taken this guy, but they took this. Like, okay, we can do that. But if I'm not nitpicking, I just say, you know what? I like what they did. Like, these things were good, even if it might not be the players that I would have liked. So let's start with that. I think, and we'll get this out of the way, I think during the draft, a lot of people would have liked the 49ers to address center early, because y'all wanted things early, and I kept talking about it with y'all, right? So, I feel like we get educated pretty good on here. It don't matter if you take a guy second round, third round, fourth round. Like, did you just take a guy? The only spot where I'm like, I didn't care for that was the third round running back. That was the one where I'm like, I didn't like the third round running back. And here's why. And I'm glad I'm finally on here because I can explain it more. I talked about it a little bit when we were live on the live broadcast. I talked about it on Twitter just a little bit, tweeted it out there. But aside from that, I didn't really give my opinion on too much of the drafts. Right? I wanted to save it for the show and Locked On 49ers. But the running back, I look at the 49ers and how they've done things, how they've gone about it. And it's crazy. Like, going back from the beginning, remember, they did draft Joe Williams, 4th round. They drafted, in that same draft, they traded a 4th round pick for Kabri Bibbs, which I thought was crazy. But they got Matt Breida, undrafted. And Matt Breida was pretty damn good, right? Like, I mean, relatively speaking, like, he was explosive. He was able to be productive. Moving forward, they continued to get a lot of production out of guys that were undrafted. Jeff Wilson, if you look at the 49ers stats when it comes to their running backs over the last 4 years, right? So after the Carlos Hyde thing, right, because Carlos Hyde was the first, year one. So after that year, since then, the last 4 years, all their leading rushers have been either undrafted or 6th round pick, which was Elijah Mitchell. The other guys all undrafted. So all that tells me is, dude, you are finding terrific value with those guys as opposed to the guys you're drafting. So again, you drafted Joe Williams, didn't play a regular season snap. You drafted Trey Sermon. You don't like him at all, and you traded up for him. You drafted Kabri Bibbs, and I say you drafted Kabri Bibbs because he was a 4th round. You traded a 4th round pick for him, which now we see that, man, pretty valuable pick, right, for a guy that just didn't play at all. So when they drafted a running back 3rd round, I'm like, what are we doing? Now, if you're saying you're drafting this guy because he's going to be our lead back or something like that, then okay, I get it. And I don't care where he was supposed to go. I don't care about that part. Like, I saw somebody say He could have got him 7th round. I don't know. I don't know. But if you're telling me like that's the guy, then all right. If you're telling me, hey, we want him to grow into a role being that guy, then all right. I thought Elijah Mitchell was your guy. So are you drafting a spellback or a guy just maybe, we want 50-50 carries, he brings a different dynamic? I get it, but then you can't get that a little bit later because you've done so well with getting guys that contribute later. And this isn't something like just now. I mean, if you look at Kyle Shanahan and the history of him and some of the guys that he has gotten good production out of, most of the time it's the guys that he didn't really invest the most in. Think about even going back to some of their free agent signings. Man, they gave Tevin Coleman a good amount of money. Man, Raheem Mostert was better. Man, they gave who was it? Jerick McKinnon a good amount of money. Like, I feel like when they've used like, okay, we're going to put some resources into this position. And I like the thought of it, but the results have been I'm getting more out of the undrafted or late round guy. So unless you're saying it's a guy that just completely moves the needle, if they would have went and got Breece Hall, right? Like, okay, you get Breece Hall 2nd round, like, I get it. Not saying I would 100, that's what I would 100% do, but all right, like that's an every down back. He's explosive. He ran in the 4.3s or whatever he ran. Like, he's a big guy. He's shifty, breakaway speed, can catch out the backfield, 3rd down, he's blocking, all that. Like, if you're telling me you get that guy and he moves the needle that much, then great. But if you're just telling me like, okay, we drafted a 3rd round running back, but we really, we're going to count on Elijah Mitchell to be the guy, that's the part where I was just a little confused. So I was like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? So that's that part. Now, again, I'm not knocking the running back because there's going to be a lot of people. I haven't watched him yet, first of all. I haven't watched him yet. But there's going to be a lot of people like, well, he's a good back. And, the 49ers have to use Deebo Samuel. And they need depth. They lost Raheem Mostert, this and that. And it's like, I get that. But you couldn't get that guy. Like, Isaiah Spiller went way later. Pierre Strong. And the goddamn Patriots get Pierre Strong. Like, there were other guys. Now, again, I'm not mad at the pick, but I'm just saying, like, those guys went later. And that was just something that was a little questionable. A little questionable. Not that I don't like the picks. It's not that I don't like the picks. It's not that I don't think these guys can be good. Just that was a little questionable. How do you feel about Leon O'Neal? My vote for a surprise player of undrafted free agent. I haven't watched him yet. All right, so let me. I'll probably watch him tomorrow. I started with Castro-Fields, then I got into Danny Gray. I haven't watched Womack yet. Like, there are a lot of guys I haven't watched yet. And when I say watch, I just want to like really get in depth with it. Appreciate the contribution. The draft is a crapshoot. Niners just take more shots. The regime has been good at drafting contributors. They have done an amazing job of drafting contributors. So let's really start with talking about some of these guys that they have drafted. Let me pull it up on my big screen. I wrote some of this stuff down, but I'm like, you know what? Let's pull it up. 49ers draft picks. Appreciate everybody that's in here. Hit the like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. All the good stuff. Man, that was so fun covering the NFL draft. Tiring. On the 3rd day, we got there at 9 a.m. So this is Saturday. Saturday, we got there at 9 a.m. Had a little, breakfast, whatever. We talking, little pre-production meeting and all that type of stuff or whatever. And then we literally talked draft. It was like 7 hours. Right? We were live for 7 hours. 7 hours straight. Like, man, I can't wait to see what that check looks like when we get that. All right, but so here we go. San Francisco 49ers. First, they took Drake Jackson, defensive end out of USC. And this was good. All right, when you look at what the 49ers have at the edge rushing position, right now they have, real quick, most surprising thing, 49ers did not trade, move up or down. They picked up their original spot throughout the entire draft. That was crazy. I've never seen them do that, ever. I don't think they've ever done that. That was wild. If you would have bet me $1,000 on the over-under on trades, I would have put it at like 3. You're like, no way in hell would I have been like, oh, they didn't move one pick. Because that's what they do. There's one draft where they didn't even make like an original pick throughout the entire draft. Like they move around, and it was really crazy to see them. Listen, last year moved up from 12 to 3, moved back to draft Aaron Banks, moved up to draft Trey Sermon. I mean, they moved around a ton. They didn't move at all. That was wild to me. But anyways, Drake Jackson, defensive end out of USC. I like this pick a lot. And they had asked me when I was talking, like, oh, who do you want in this pick? And I'm looking, and I'm like, I'm looking at guys like, okay, safety, they need a starting safety. Again, not sure exactly how they felt about these safeties that they currently have outside of Jimmy Ward. They told us what they feel now, right? When you don't draft a safety, it's like, we really want to give Hufanga and Tarvarius Moore an opportunity to start, and we like Odom. So they told us, like, we have our 4 guys we are going to compete with them. All right, but I was thinking, oh, they're probably going to take safety. Well, they went Drake Jackson, and I like the pick. This is why. You got Amenahu, Hyder, Ebicam. You have a lot of these guys, right? But they're all on like 1-year contracts. Like they all expire after this year. And they have a lot of big body guys, right? Like who's that pure bendy speed guy coming off the edge, dipping that shoulder, getting skinny, closing on the quarterback. And that's what Drake Jackson is. Now, can Drake Jackson become better at, block shedding, defending the run? Sure, whatever. But we got this dude named Nick Bosa on the other side. He's amazing. On this side, can we just get somebody third down, screaming at the quarterback, pin his ears back? Great. Now, also with Drake Jackson, he is someone who played in like multiple defensive schemes at USC. They played him at linebacker, they played him at edge, they did all these different things with him. But him just rushing off of the edge and really kind of developing. If he can work with Nick Bosa and can do that, dude, he's going to be fine. All the ability in the world. Like this was a big-time prospect. He flashed big-time ability at USC. This was one that I liked. I was excited about that pick. I think he's going to come in. And if he can be a guy who's just a rotation guy year one, third downs, you see him come on the field, he's going to get his pass rush snaps. That would be solid. Can he get 6 sacks, 7 sacks, whatever, as a rotation guy, and then kind of continue to grow in that role? That would be awesome. All right, now that was the pick 61. Pick 93, third round. You got Tyrion Davis-Price. We already talked about that. I didn't understand drafting a running back there because of how the 49ers have gotten production out of guys who are undrafted or late round picks. So, I kind of looked at this as kind of more of a premium pick, kind of wasted a third round pick last year on Trey Sermon. I think this is them telling us they don't care for Trey Sermon. That's how I took it, at least. Now we could say that there's the upside of Trey Sermon, or we just got 3 backs that we really like, but I don't know. Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, Tyrion Davis-Price. Maybe those are just the 3-headed monsters. And if so, that's cool. Who's the speed guy? Elijah Mitchell has good speed, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see what that backfield looks like. Elijah Mitchell has definitely enough speed for sure. For sure. I don't know if he plays it at 4.39 or whatever he ran, but he plays fast. I mean, I'm talking, 4.48. He kind of plays at more of that type of speed, which isn't bad. But again, the running back draft pick, I thought it was questionable. Not because of the prospect. I am curious to see how they utilize the 3 running backs, but just in the sense of running back there when you've gotten so much production out of the lower round guys. But anyways, I have to watch film on him. I couldn't tell you anything about him aside from a few of the things I've seen on Twitter, but I try not to pay attention to what other people put out there because I want to give my own perspective on it and what I'm seeing and not regurgitate what other people are seeing. But I did see him run over Neil, the undrafted free agent. He ran through his, that video, that clip of Marshawn Lynch when he's like run through a motherfucker face. Like, what I'm saying? Like over and 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 over. That Marshawn, like he ran through Neil's face or O'Neal, whatever his name. We'll talk about him later when I watch more film on him, but ran through his face. All right. My guy Jesse said, let's not sugarcoat it. That was a horrible pick. Again, I don't want to say that like the pick was horrible because of the player. I don't know. To me, it was just the value of it. That was the part where it was a little weird to me. That was it. Just the value of the pick. not so much the player. So I don't know, and I got to see how they plan on utilizing him, and then it'll start to make a little bit more sense to me. But I know for sure my initial reaction was that was interesting, and I didn't like it initially. All right, third round pick 105, Danny Gray, wide receiver out of SMU. Uh, I I watched film on Danny Gray. I know what he was, right? I saw little things of him. I didn't like specifically focus on Danny Gray. When we kind of came on here and we watched some stuff on Marcus Jones, right? Danny Gray versus Houston, Marcus Jones. We got the all 22 on that. And I remember seeing him make a play down the right sideline where it's like, oh, he dunked on him there. And I know what he is, right? Like he's a speed guy. And that's cool. Like, okay, I know he had a lot of speed, but as far as the intricacies of like his like legit game, that was the part like I didn't know. Like I couldn't tell you anything outside of he's a speed guy, and I just remember thinking like, man, it kind of reminds me of, and I said this on Locked On 49ers. I was like, man, it kind of reminds me of Mike Wallace, right? Where it's kind of like that long leg, like straight line, like speed guy, right? Like what Mike Wallace was. And then I remember talking with Peacock about it, and I was like, because I try to give like, man, reminds me of this guy, but he could be this guy. And I remember thinking like, man, he reminds me of Mike Wallace, but he could be like AJ Jenkins, right? Like you know what I'm saying? Because AJ Jenkins was a 4.3 guy. He definitely had that speed, but he just wasn't really a good receiver. And in the NFL, you got to be more than like just speed. Now AJ Jenkins, for the reasons why he like was so bad, I don't know. But as far as like what he was, it was like, okay, and I'm watching Danny Gray, or from what I thought of Danny Gray originally. Is he Mike Wallace or is he AJ Jenkins? All right. And now the difference is AJ Jenkins was drafted first round. So that's, what I'm saying? Like we're talking about first round, 31 overall pick who had 0 catches for the 49ers. Like that's crazy, right? I watched Danny Gray. I've watched three all 22 films so far. I would say that he is closer to AJ Jenkins than he is Mike Wallace from what I've seen. Now y'all know I keep it a buck, and there is a thread of me going through plenty of picks showing. I mean, not plenty of picks, plenty of plays, not nitpicking. Just watching the film, and I'm like, okay, well, what is he doing? And so we don't go on a run about it, and I don't want to like gripe like on him or the pick or what, because you never know. He definitely can be much more than what I saw. All right, but let's talk about his strengths so far. One, he is fast. We know he runs fast. Somebody was like, what about these plays? And they're showing me highlights, and it's like, I don't watch highlights. Because I think they lie. They lie to you. So I don't watch any highlights of prospects, because you can kind of make that look like whatever you want it to look like. So you can watch a highlight of Danny Gray, he might look like goddamn Tyreek Hill. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But when you watch all 22 and you see what this guy is consistently, we'll say the highlights are the upside of what someone can potentially be. All right. So it's like, if you want to say, man, he might be able to be this, then like, you watch the highlights. But I don't watch highlights, because as someone who has to give analysis on these guys, like real like analysis, not saying what they are or what they aren't going to be. I would never say what Danny Gray is going to be. I'll just talk about what I've seen as far as strengths and weaknesses and things like that. He is fast, but to me, watching like that is all. That like that. The only thing I saw, like, he's fast. Okay, I don't want to come off as like, and then everybody, oh, Croc said he sucks. Like, nah. I think he can improve in a lot of areas of being a receiver. So then it comes to what's his role going to be? All right. or what do we think he is as a as a as a a draft pick? They drafted him third round. What are your expectations? To me, he looks like he's coming in just based off of what I've seen him do. He's more of a Travis Benjamin, right? Where like Travis Benjamin would do like some clear out stuff, and he was never really like the focal point of anything. But like it's like, hey, run straight as fast as you can, right? Like, and if you want to clear out zones and areas where it's gonna take guys, like he can be that guy. Run hard as fast as you can, and get vertical and pull guys. He can do that. And if maybe somebody messes up and they don't carry, maybe you could throw it out there and he can run underneath it. All right. There are areas where maybe they can scheme up some of the crossing routes and things like that. Right? Like I could see that. Just utilize your speed on a crosser, catch a crosser, and we'll see what happens. Right? Like that can happen. Right? He has good speed. All right. And I got my guy Sean. He said basically he needs to develop, but he has what you can't teach. Right. Like I can't teach the speed. I can teach everything else. Now, I hate using this word. He is extremely raw because I feel like people I think that sometimes people throw out that a guy is raw when they don't know what the fuck they talking about or looking at, right? I remember people telling me, oh, Jalen Hurd, he's raw. And I'm like, man, Jalen Hurd was a pretty damn good route runner. There were areas where he can improve with like contested catches, things like that. But it was like, I didn't think that Jalen Hurd was raw. Whatever he did to work to get to the point to where he was after like playing 1 year of wide receiver, like he looked good to me. At that year at Baylor, I didn't think he came to the 49ers where it's like, man, Jalen Hurd, he's just so raw. Danny Gray is very raw. Danny Gray, from what I saw, okay, this again, just my opinion, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, and I put the clips up there on social media. He has no idea how to run, and I hate when people say, like, not a route runner, because I'm the first person to tell y'all, like, man, how does this guy win? And does he win that way consistently? And how does that translate to the NFL? Like, that's my thing, right? Like, how does the guy win? Does he win that way consistently? How does it translate to the NFL? Danny Gray wins with speed. He does not win with speed consistently. And from what I've seen, he has no idea how to utilize the threat of his speed to free himself up. And that is something that he can work on. That is something he can improve on. I don't know if it's as simple as a lot of social media is saying it is. There are a lot of people in my mentions like, oh, well, he can work on that by preseason. He'll be fine. Or, oh, he'll be like, maybe. But I can't guarantee it. I can't guarantee that. And I'm telling you, when it comes to man coverage and the guy that you would like to see just be able to like win off the line of scrimmage and blow by a guy, he's not doing that. From what I've seen so far. Right now, I watched 3 games, and that was not something that I saw that is like, you know what? How does he win? Does he win that way consistently? How does it translate to the NFL? He's not winning that way consistently. Now, I can say someone said, my guy right here, Ron, hey, you have to watch the Toledo. Why do I got to watch Toledo? You know what I'm saying? Like, see, that, like, why do I got to watch this game to see something that shows some level of consistency? So is it Toledo, maybe their corners are just horrible? Or is it, you know what I'm saying? Or is that a one-off? Because the 3 games I've watched, some of the things is very inconsistent. I want to see consistency. All right. So with his route running, he really needs to work on being able to utilize the threat of his speed in route. And he has to become more consistent with that. In my opinion, from what I've seen so far, and I'm not saying he doesn't have high upside. He has to improve on these things, or it's going to be tough. Now, I think there's going to be some one-on-one reps in practice where you're like, oh man, like, but there's a lot he has to work on. So I like the potential of what he can be. based off of the film I saw, he looked like more of like a 5th round pick as opposed to a 3rd round pick, even though he was the last pick in the 3rd round. So it's not like, but it was just, I see my guy Jake's there. Croc, all wide receivers are not route runners. Okay. I love that we're having this conversation. I don't think all receivers have to be good route runners. Right? Again, for me, what it comes down to is how do you win? And do you win that way consistently? Right? Like, if you're a speed guy, do you win regardless of the route running? But when I say his route run, like, he could not free himself up. Guys were getting hands in his chest. He was not, it was like all game. I'm just like, so yeah, you don't have to be a great route runner. Is Deebo Samuel a great route runner? No, but he wins with position. Is AJ Brown a great route runner? No. Like Chase Claypool, like, no. You don't have to be a great route runner to be legit at the NFL level. But you got to win a certain way, and you got to win like that consistently. And then, how high of a level are you doing? Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase isn't a great route runner. But I tell you what, he's elite at the catch point. He's elite at the catch point. This is great right here. Remember, Croc wasn't big on Jamar Chase. Right? No. See, now here's the tough thing. If you have pushback on a certain aspect of someone's game and how it translates to the NFL, someone will say, oh, remember, Croc wasn't big on Jamar Chase. I really like Jamar Chase. I just said, hey, he's not a great route runner. How will that translate to the NFL? Well, he did one thing that was great in college. Great, right? Again, how do you win? Can you win that way consistently? Jamar Chase, as a vertical threat, won consistently in the collegiate level in the SEC at the highest level. I was curious, how would that translate? But he was my wide receiver 2 in that class. People make it seem like, oh man, Croc said Jamar Chase won't be good in the NFL. Croc said, Jamar Chase, his game won't translate. He was my wide receiver 2. My wide receiver 2. Again, my wide receiver 2. I'll say it one more time. Wide receiver 2. And the only guy I had over him was Devontae Smith, who did everything at a very high level. At a very high level. There was not one weakness to Devontae Smith's game aside from he's skinny. That was the only weakness to Devontae Smith's game. Contested catches plus speed, run after catch, route running, savviness, any toughness, blocking. Devontae Smith had no weakness aside from him being skinny. So if I had Jamar Chase at wide receiver 2, that wasn't that. I didn't think Jamar Chase wasn't good. What are we talking about here? Jamar Chase was excellent. I just said, man, I'm curious to see, like, he doesn't separate. Like, how does that translate? But he was my wide receiver 2. Come on now, make this make sense. Make this make sense. Croc don't like LSU players. Justin Jefferson was my wide receiver 3 in a class with CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, all these other guys, Brandon Ayuk. Justin Jefferson was my wide receiver 3. And not only that, oh, you know what? Croc don't see now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Hold on. We're going. Hold on. It's probably gonna be hard for me to find this. It's gonna be hard for me to find it. Anyways, I'll find it eventually. But Croc don't like LSU players. I was praying and hoping the 49ers drafted Justin Jefferson. I will find it. I will find those tweets and put them on here. I was praying, hoping, please, 49ers draft Justin Jefferson. It's on Twitter. I was like, please. And you know what? You know what the crazy thing was? I got a ton of pushback on that. There were a lot of people that said, what were they saying? Oh, he's just a slot. Croc, why do you like Justin Jefferson so much? And I was like, man, I think he's going to be a 49er tomorrow. I thought the 49ers were going to trade back and draft Justin Jefferson at 18. I had them do that, and I did a little mock draft with my guys from Nothing But Niners. And yeah, with Nothing But Niners. And I traded back and I drafted Justin Jefferson. And wait, why would you draft? I love Justin Jefferson. So Croc don't like LSU players. But all my tweets the night before the draft and the morning of the draft of 2020 were 49ers are going to draft Justin Jefferson. I mean, come on now. Come on. So, yeah. What Croc was it said we should draft. Yeah, thank you. Croc was the one that said we should draft Jefferson. Exactly. So, anyways, but aside from that, Danny Gray and the weird Jamar Chase. Like, I like Jamar Chase. He didn't create separation. When Jamar Chase had that lull in the middle of this past season, where there were like 4 straight games where he didn't go for over 50 yards, it was teams started taking away the vertical threat. They put 2 safeties over top, and he's not a good route runner. So it was like he kind of struggled to win, and his production went down. And then I think they just said, wait, we're just going to throw the vertical threat anyways. Watch a game with Jamar Chase. How did Jamar Chase win? It wasn't with routes. It wasn't with separation. It was, I'm going to run straight. I'm going to catch the ball at the catch point, and then I'm probably going to run past some people because I'm very fast. When I watch Danny Gray, though, he is not that type of prospect. To me, Danny Gray has to work on using the threat of his speed a little bit more, unless he's going to turn into Jamar Chase, who is an amazing contested catch guy, one of the best in the NFL. He was the best at that in college. He's one of the best in the NFL at that. Danny Gray has not shown it to be that guy. If he did, I'd be like, man, he's not that great of a route runner, but he possesses speed and he's great at contested catch. Awesome. I didn't see that. I just saw someone that really struggled to get open, really struggled to free himself up, really struggled to threaten corners with his speed, running comebacks and they're running the route for him. And like these things were consistent. I didn't care for the great pick with Calvin Austin on the board, although I think we made up for it with undrafted rookie free agent from Pitt and Oklahoma State. I would have taken Calvin Austin. Now, that's not saying that Danny Gray can't be good. We will see. We will see. Like, but if you tell me here's what we're going to do. Croc Shanahan said exactly what you said about how Danny would be used to clear out the field. Placement of Benjamin, exact word. Oh, see, and I didn't even hear Kyle say that. I was so busy with all the other draft stuff, I didn't even get to hear that. But if that's how he's used, awesome. I would have liked to have Calvin Austin because I think he just brings a little bit more, but we will see. But I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about for those of you who might not be on Twitter and whatnot. But I didn't care for the great pick, but Calvin Austin on the board. I really like Calvin Austin a lot. That was my guy. It's going to be a IU breakout year. Year 3, you hope so, right? But hold on real quick, just so, and I didn't really want to get into this exactly right now, but, obviously with kind of, sometimes I think people just need a visual of what it is that I'm talking about. All right. And then, we'll talk about just kind of what I'm seeing. Just so y'all can see. Just so it's not like, Croc just talking out of his ass. All right. Where is it at? Where is the start of his thread? Here we go. Just so I can show y'all. That's what we're going to do here. All right. So let me share my screen real quick. What the heck? Allow StreamYard to see your screen. San School 49. What is this? My bad, y'all. I just got a new I got a new laptop, and I guess to share my screen is just different. Allow StreamYard.com to see your screen. Window or screen. Select window or screen. I want it to be. No, not that one. What the? All right, hold on. Bear with me, y'all. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this together. What screen is that is showing? Oh, maybe it is. All right, so let's see. If I go here, are y'all seeing this? Let me go to YouTube real quick so I can. Or I know what I could do. Hold on. Hold on. I got a new MacBook, and I swear Mac makes everything way more complicated than it has to be. All right, so here we go. Share screen. Here. Here. Allow. There we go. All right, so I can go over to this screen. Here we go. So I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about here. Oh, this is actually pretty good. Shout out to my wife. Y'all see Miss Crocky right there, graduating from nursing school. Did the LPN to RN program 1 year, banged it out. You know. All right, so here we go. We got a number of clips here. So we're going to talk about all this. So I'm right now. I'm kind of. Oh wait, yeah, this is Danny Gray. So I'm watching him. Here he is right here. I feel like this is not the first clip of the thread. Hold on. Here we go. So I'm watching him, and I'm just gonna give you my genuine analysis on this, because I feel like y'all think I'm like kind of talking out of my ass. Maybe Croc's crazy. Let's talk about it. All right. Here we go. Let's fast forward a little bit to where he gets en route. So here he goes. Right here, he has a post stop. When we start talking about using the threat of your speed, you got a post stop here. And I'm going to be real. A post stop, and this is Danny Green at the top. A post stop is one of the harder routes to defend, especially versus someone that has speed, because you got the corner playing off, which off coverage is tough in general. All right, playing off. When you feel like you got to get on your horse to cover the post, and then they stop. That's typically a hard route to defend. For whatever reason, Marcus Jones is sitting on his route. He's sitting on this route. Look, and he was anticipating it. So what this is telling me, he has a tail in his route running here. All right, he has a tail in it. So when he's running at him, this is a tough route to defend. He's sitting on that. That's a post stop. That's not a good route. So it's just not a good route. You got to free yourself up. Now, I'm not just cherry picking plays. I'm just going through. That was like one of the first plays of the game. Let's continue. Here he is again. Fast forward a little bit. This is probably like a play or two later. Here he is here at the top. There is zero separation on this. Again, he's a speed guy. He is fast. He is fast, right? You have to use your speed to push the corner vertically. You got to use the threat of your speed to push the corner vertically. He's not doing that. There's zero separation. When you're fast, and again, all right, you're a speed guy. Use your speed then to push the guy vertically. Now, I know I see a lot of people, Marcus Jones is that deal also. Marcus Jones is extremely patient and fast too, though. This ain't Marcus Jones right here. So yeah, the previous one was Marcus Jones. This is not Marcus Jones here. All right. So this guy hands on. He's not threatened by his speed. He sits down. I'll tell you what it feels like to be threatened by somebody's speed. You tend to get upfield shoulder. When you know, like, okay, this guy, he plays fast. I gotta get on my horse. Like you tend to get upfield shoulder when he sits his route down. It's tougher. All right. You see the guy kind of continue upfield a little bit, then he has to work back. Like, that's not Marcus Jones. So I get what y'all saying. Oh, Marcus Jones is good though. Well, what the fuck y'all think he gonna face in the NFL? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think he's gonna face at the NFL? There's 100 Marcus Joneses in the NFL. All right, that's no separation. All right, again, I'm just talking about using your speed as a vertical threat. All right, let's go again. And I'm not cherry picking plays. Here he goes with the slant. All right, this is a good job. He runs a slant. Good. Now, nitpicking, I would like to see him explode when he puts his foot in the ground and cross face. Really put your foot in the ground to cross face, because Marcus Jones is sitting on this route. All right. So really put your foot in the ground, so that might create more space. When you watch Deebo Samuel run a slant. Watch Ayuk. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you want to talk about making guys scared of your vertical speed? Ayuk, who ran a 4.51, played fast at Arizona State. When he was running slants, when he was running routes, he was getting guys going upfield. They were nervous. These guys are sitting on Danny Gray's routes. But again, that's a good catch. All right. Here we go. That shows you I'm not just like nitpicking plays or cherry picking plays. All right, here he goes right here. Here he goes right here. Oh, okay. Now here I was just talking about getting out. All right. So what I'm talking about here is I want to see him use the theoretical speed, right? I mean, the threat of his vertical speed, but you got to fire off. Like, you really got to get out. This is something that he can learn. Like, he can learn this and he'll get this. I think he can run fast. All right. I didn't mean to turn this into a Danny Green film session, but it's like, y'all kind of got me going. So my thing here is I need you to take off. Like, you are the one. This guy's running the vertically pushing route right here. And you are running a vertically pushing route and then a stop. All right. But when we talk about using the threat of your speed and firing off and being able to throttle down, how is the guy who is off the ball firing out faster? After 5 yards, he's past you. I need you to play fast to where you're giving the same vertical illusion as this guy who's actually going vertical. All right. So fire off the ball, because when you see around the 5 yard mark, when they get out of there, which is coming right now, all right, this guy's past them now. I need you to play faster, because that's your threat. That's the threat of your speed. All right, like, you are you're going to be that vertical guy. And when you are fast like that, make the DBs nervous. Make them nervous. Firing off. All right, firing off. And again, I see some of the comments in here. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing. All right. I'm not saying that he can't be good, or I'm not saying that these aren't things. I'm just talking about like where he's at right now. All right. Here we go. Let's see where he's at here. Now this one is good. Okay, look. I'm telling you guys, and this is from experience. It's tough to cover. Look, you got the corner here. He's inside shade. You got the corner right here, inside shade. This is Marcus Jones. He's good. You got the corner here. He's inside shade in his back foot pedal. A post is hard to cover. When you're inside shade and you're getting in the back pedal or a turn and run, and this guy's fast, right? We're talking about 4.33 speed. He's blazing. It's hard to cover the post. And you can see, I think he did a fairly good job of getting the corner to open up. All right, so you watch him and boom, the corner is open. Now, again, things that he can learn. Being able to really get the cornerback to be uneasy by attacking him with speed, maybe hit him with a rocker step or, whatever. But, and again, I don't know if it's a bad rep by him or just a great rep by him. I'd say this was just a great rep by Marcus Jones. but his ability to flip and stay on top of this route. Again, could just be, well, Jones is really good. But what I'm saying is, you are a speed guy. I need to see you win with your speed consistently. All right? Consistently. And again, maybe I'm just saying, or they're telling us, maybe my expectations for what the fans are thinking, right? Like, because I'm thinking like, oh, is this a guy who, okay, Debo continue to trip, like you got your guy, eventually. I think he has a lot of ways to go. Here he is right here. All right. Now here, good, playing speed. Now, this is where I think, if we talk about the 49ers and what they think he might be, watch this. This here. And I noted that, like, man, maybe this is where they like him. See how he clears this out for this guy here? Look, he took 2. Could be a blown coverage or whatever, but he's taking 2. They are thinking about his speed, the vertical threat of his speed. So he takes 2 defenders and it clears it out for this guy. This guy could be Ayuk right here. This guy could be Debo Samuel. All right. But clearly, look, that's clearing it out. Look at this gaping window. Look at that gaping window. All right. Look at this gaping window right here. So I think there's value here. Whereas, like, he can take defenders because, hey, if you're pushing, guys got to respect that. And he can leave stuff open for guys. And Kyle does a lot of this stuff. Kyle does a lot of this. That was good. All right. Coach, how am I I don't think I'm nitpicking. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing. I got Castro-Fields. We'll do him next. All right. And it's just, this is what I'm seeing. And I think there was really good stuff there. So it's not like I'm just like, oh, I want Danny Green to be amazing. Or Danny Gray. I want Danny Gray to be amazing. I want him to be great. I'm just telling y'all what I see. Now, right here, again, is he the clear out guy for the wheel? Right? He takes this. In the 49ers offense, would they just, I would like to see the quarterback throw here. Obviously, the quarterback made the right decision. To throw here. But let's say there was no wheel route. And maybe that's just a concept. I would like to see the quarterback. Let me see him run underneath the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to see that. Let me see him run underneath the ball. But again, just in the sense of, again, what I'm looking for, because he's a speed guy. Win on that post. Maybe he outruns the DB. Maybe he outruns him. If you throw it out there, you just throw it and you let him run underneath it, maybe he outruns him. I just would like to see that. All right. But that was nice. Again, where they win with him being on the field there, the nice clear out. All right, here we go. You got Danny Gray again. Now, this is not bad. And I noted that not bad. Now, would you like to see him? Now, this is nitpicking. Would you like to see him get out in fewer steps? Sure. And I would like to see him kind of explode back to the ball a little bit, show your numbers so you're an easy target, right? See, right now he's looking before he kind of gets his body around. So it just takes you a little bit longer. But that's not bad. Look, like, use your vertical threat, sit your route down. There's a little separation. And I believe that is enough separation in the NFL. Now, yeah, the quarterback got blew up, right? So it's like, hey, I need you to get in your route. But just in the sense of threatening the corner, being able to sit your route down, and there is an opening to where if the timing is right, he's good. But at the top there, at the top right there. Uh, right there at the top. Get out of there at the top and work back. Just so that the corner, there's no chance for the corner to undercut the route. All right. And okay. Oh, I just saw a great comment here. Croc only stating the reasons this guy is not a first round talent. No problem. There we go. That's it right there. Or a second round, right? Because we saw Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor. He went second round, high second round, right? And I think a lot of people were like, "Oh man, Tyquan Thornton, like speed guy." And I was like, "Man, I saw him. I'm like, man, there's a lot of good stuff with Tyquan Thornton in his game and using the threat of his speed consistently." I see somebody say Gray is a wide receiver 3 right now. I don't think he's a wide receiver 3 right now. I don't think where he's at right now in his development. Again, right now, I keep saying right now because he can definitely be more. He can definitely be more. But is he going to unseat Juwan Jennings? I don't think so. I think Juwan Jennings is your wide receiver 3. I thought they would get a guy that would push Juwan Jennings. I don't know if Gray is doing that right now. Maybe. But I don't, that's not something that I kind of foresee happening. This is good though. Look at this. I think the concentration was good there. Again, we talked about the speed aspect. This guy's in his hip pocket. He's there at the contested catch, but he makes the contested catch. So that's terrific. To me, that's good, right? Like, all right, like it's not an ideal situation. You weren't able to outrun him. I think you could have used a speed release there, all right, to really get going because his chatters, he wasn't really moving the defensive backs. He's kind of chopping in place as opposed to moving the DB. So the DB's like, bro, I'm not worried about nothing you're doing. And he gets there. But this is a great job. I thought he worked to attack the ball at his highest point. The defensive back slipped at the catch point, and I think that made him kind of slip a little bit. You're going to see Marcus Jones' foot kind of give out. So he slipped, and then he kind of slipped a little bit, but he did a terrific job of continuing to keep his concentration on the ball. This is good. There we go. Good stuff. See? Am I nitpicking here? When I point out a good play? Or am I only nitpicking when it's a bad play? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think I'm nitpicking. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing. Here we go. We got an RPO. We got RPO on. And right here, I'm talking about it. And I'm like, listen, you are a speed guy. It's a slant route. I don't think you should have to put your hands into the chest of the guy downfield to push off to create separation. Now, I saw Deebo Samuel do it once against Tennessee, where he kind of put his hands in the chest, crossed dude's face, caught a slant, almost scored a touchdown. As me evaluating him, I would like to see him be able to move the defensive back more. And I think that's where a lot of his issues start at the line of scrimmage. Can he work to move the DB? And I think that would help him free himself with a lot of these routes. Because he's not really moving. He's not really moving guys. I see somebody say, Croc, are these problems 100% fixable? 100%. They do take a lot of work. Reggie Roberson, the better of the two, but injuries. I hear you. I liked Reggie Roberson. Yeah, he hasn't been the same since the ACL and stuff. He hasn't been the same. So this could be enough separation here. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, this could be what we see right here. He didn't get the ball. It was RPO. They handed the ball off. This here could be enough. It could be enough separation. All right. It wasn't play action. It was a RPO slant. That could be enough separation with timing. All right. Here we go. Here he goes again. So again, use the vertical threat to free yourself up. Use the vertical speed, the threat of your vertical speed to free yourself up en route. All right, and that's what I'm talking about here. You got to come back here. Oh, hold on, here we go. And the corner ran the route for him. Again, I need you to threaten this guy to the point where he's not comfortable enough getting his hands on you like that. That's what I would be telling him. You have to use the threat of your vertical speed. DK Metcalf in college ran like 3 routes pretty much, right? But a lot of people were questioning like, well, he's going to be able to run routes at the NFL. He's not a route runner, this, that, and the other. And it's like, dude, Debo doesn't have to, I mean, am I saying Debo? DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf didn't have to be a great route runner because he utilized the threat of his speed very well. Very well. DK did a good job of being really quick and powerful off the line of scrimmage and exploding by guys. And he used the threat of the pushing the vertical, the idea of him running vertically to sit down, and it would create separation over the top. So he didn't have to be a great route runner. He could take 4 steps at the top of his break, but it mattered because he would get defensive backs going upfield. Gray's he's not doing that right now. But I think a lot of the issues start with at the line of scrimmage. All right, he's not moving DBs at the line of scrimmage because this is straps. This is strap, and the DB wasn't going for any of it at all. So maybe it's just like, hey, Marcus Jones just has terrific anticipation. That could be it. I think Marcus Jones is a good cover guy, but Danny Gray's not doing anything to help free himself up. Now there are a couple of reps that I want to get to. I continued to watch a little bit. At first, I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop watching this game. So this is good. Now again, and this is not Marcus Jones here. But again, guys is too comfortable getting hands on him at the line of scrimmage. And they're continuing to run with him down the field. Now again, this is good for him to be able to adjust. But like right now, you can't even see Danny Gray. That's how tight the coverage was. But he did an amazing job of 1, concentrating with the safety flying by underneath, and 2, with the corner all over him. So I think he did a really good job with his concentration, with being able to make use good body control, tightrope on the sideline with his feet. That was really good. That was really good. See, I did point out some good stuff. And then I went, I'm watching another game here. And this was the first play of the game. This is the very first play of the game. Impressed. Again, now this ain't Marcus Jones. These are guys that are not threatened by his speed. These are guys getting hands on. That's not Marcus Jones. This is the very first play of the game, and they threw the ball to him. All right, now, 2 plays later, this happened. And this was great. Now, this shows me once he does kind of be able to free himself up, this is some of the things he could do after the catch. Like really show legit speed here. Legit speed. Boom. He catches it. Guy misses the angle, and he's off. And when I was watching it, it's kind of blurry right here, but I was like, damn, that's legit speed. Now, how did he get open? Because I think context matters. There was a busted coverage. You had two guys go at 1. So I don't know why they did that. You see 2 guys right here. You have 2 defenders go with this one guy, and they didn't even cover him. Like they both messed up, but that let Danny Gray be wide open. But really good run after catch. Boom. Awesome. Like show that speed. Show that speed. That's awesome there. That's good stuff. I like that. Like we know, okay, he can run, which I think everybody knows he can run. Now there were a couple good routes here that I like. One here, you have a switch release. You got a switch release here. Watch the switch release. I think he hit this full speed, That was good. Catch the ball, go out of bounds. This was good. Hit it full speed, boom. That's a really good bench route. Really good bench route. Hit that route full speed. Awesome. I like it. And I'll tell you guys a little bit like kind of one of my takeaways here with him. All right. But that was good. And then he ran this route right here against a guy in the slot. Essentially, he ended up being in the slot. Where I've been talking about, man, I want him to threaten guys vertically. This is threatening guys vertically. He did a good job here. Then he stemmed it outside, selling the slot fade. Then he sits his route down. That's good. You see him get that guy going upfield? You see him get this guy? Watch him get the guy going upfield. Watch him get him going upfield. Look at that. He has his whole back turned. That's good. This is good. When he stops, look at that. Whole back going. That's somebody, hey, I am threatened by his speed on this slot fade. That's what I want to see. That's good. So at least it lets you know he has the ability. He has the ability to do it. All right. So I hope I didn't come off as like, I'm going to show you like what's the full picture with these guys, right? Like what's the full, like who are they? What do they do well? Like what are, you know what I'm saying? Like where does he need to improve on? I say right now, versus man coverage in the NFL, he might struggle. He might. Now again, I don't know. But might struggle. Like versus man. If you can free him up versus zone right now and give him in space with ability to run after catch, solid. But it's not as simple as just, Kyle schemes everybody open, blah, blah. Deebo Samuel can beat man. And he doesn't have to do it with like this sexy way. It's just, can I get you on my back? If I get you on my back, I'm catching and I'm running away from you. And that's a strength, and it's very consistent in Deebo Samuel's game. Brandon Ayuk, he can beat man coverage. He can whoop guys off the line of scrimmage. He can get going. He can do those things. Danny Gray, that's something where he has to work on. They're going to lean a little heavy on Kyle doing concepts that can potentially help free him up, especially if it's against zone. All right, so that's not to say Danny Gray's a bad pick. I never said that. Won't say that. I would say he really needs to work on certain aspects of his game. And if he does, he'll be more Mike Wallace than AJ Jenkins. But right now, it reminds me more of kind of what AJ Jenkins was coming out, who ended up being the first round pick. But just in the sense of kind of what his game was and what it looked like. Not saying that's what he's going to be. I don't know. Hell, he can end up being, goddamn, I don't know, Tyreek Hill or something. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, like, this is where he's at right now. I would go on about Castro-Fields, but I've already spent a lot of time on this. All right, so I won't do that. Got over 400 of y'all in here, 430 some of y'all in here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Listen, Danny Green needs to also sink his hips coming in and out of his breaks. Maybe. Listen, I'm not even going into what there's areas of his game he needs to work on. And you can say that for any receiver. There are areas of, like I said, Jamar Chase, and he's excellent. It doesn't matter. He's 1,600-yard receiver, whatever the hell he was. He was one of the best receivers in the NFL. And he's not a refined route runner, things like that. But, however, Danny Gray is going to win, he needs to figure out how to be able to win that way consistently. Because in my head, he's a speed guy. Henry Ruggs, I had the same issue. A lot of people, Henry Ruggs, Croc, you're very low on. You want to talk about me not being high on the receivers. I wasn't very high on Henry Ruggs. I didn't think he learned how to utilize the threat of his speed to free himself up on underneath routes, and he was a speed guy, and he had to win that way. All right, so, that's just, you can always work on it. These guys are prospects. Whatever they are now, that's not what these guys going to be in 2 years. Right? Like, and that's for any of these guys. That's the same for, Trey Lance. The same for Elijah Mitchell. That's the same for, even some of the things we've seen from Debo. Debo's been really good day one. Obviously, like once he got it down in his head, what he was supposed to do, he like started taking off. But yeah, I like it. I want to go. I want to bring some of y'all on, but dang, I went a little long, and I got to work out. So this is what we'll do. I'll bring y'all on tomorrow. I do have some clips of Castro, so I'll post some of what I'm seeing from him. I'll do that real quick, and then tomorrow we'll get into the rest of some of these guys here. But here we go. Where's Castro at? 1 second. All right. And again, listen, y'all. I just, what I'm saying? I just talk about what I'm seeing. That's all. That's all. It doesn't mean that these guys are going to be. Hold on. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that ain't it. Here we go. Boom. All right, and can y'all still hear me? Because I tried to like mute something. All right, so here we go. We got Castro here. All right, so can y'all still hear me? All right, here's Tariq Castro-Fields. Hold on. Still looking at some of the comments here. Danny is a scheme fit. He will be used as a deep threat, but Kyle said the same as you, Croc. He will be used to open up the field. There we go. All right. Me and Croc, me and Coach Shanahan on the same page here. All right, here we go. So here we go. We got Castro-Fields. Why is it pause? But why is it not bigger? Pause. I don't even know if it's. Hold on. Nope, that's not what I want to share. There we go. All right. But is it not playing? Is it not playing for y'all? Because I don't see it playing. I gotta get more savvy with this. Nah, it's not playing. All right, we'll stop. We'll stop right there. But we will get into Castro-Fields. If you go to my Twitter timeline, you can see some of these clips. But yeah, I think he does some really good stuff. There are areas where he can trust his technique a little bit more. But if you talk about being able to be a versatile defensive back, being able to play off, being able to play press, fluid, good feet. Clearly, he shows the ability to be able to run vertically with guys. I think he's very aggressive, and I like it. It burns him a little bit. All right. It burns him a little bit, but yeah, it's not the Wi-Fi that's making that do this. I don't know what it is. It like I had a different little option when I first pulled up my share screen. It was different. At first I had like different options, and then now I'm not seeing that same option. I don't know. I gotta figure out this MacBook. MacBook's like different. Yeah, it's just different. I don't know. It's not. So I'll get that down. But yeah. there's a lot to like about him. We'll get it down, and I'll talk more about him and the other prospects. We didn't even get into those guys. We will get into that tomorrow, talking about more of these prospects, all that good stuff, man. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We're back. We're going to be back here Monday through Thursday this week. Shout out to everybody that's here. We'll also, and I'll break down film, and I'll post a lot of this to my social media, my Twitter account, where we'll talk about some of these undrafted guys, what I'm saying. But overall, I didn't even get to get into like how I feel about this what they did to, address needs. They got Donovan West and they got Neal, the safety, or O'Neal. And is it Neal or O'Neal? But they got those guys. And I think if you would have said that West was a 3rd round pick and the safety was a 5th round pick, people would say, man, they addressed the center and safety. You know what I'm saying? O'Neal, there we go. If you would have said that West was a 3rd round pick and O'Neal was a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick, people would be excited. Oh, they addressed it. Those same guys went undrafted. I think people should be as happy as if they were draft picks. Now, what they're going to be, I don't know. I do a podcast. I do a draft podcast with my guy, Tony Pauline. And Tony Pauline, when we were going over prospects, had said he didn't think that West was a draftable player. He didn't think West was a draftable player. So that was his thoughts based off of, the film and evaluations that he had done. So that's that part. But we'll see. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Sorry I didn't get everybody on here. Tomorrow we'll jump right in and I'll get y'all on right away. But that's going to do it for this episode. I got to go hit this workout. Then I got locked on NFL draft an hour after that or in an hour. So I got to hurry up, get this workout in, hit the locked on NFL draft and, keep bringing y'all that content. Not Ideal Podcast, links below. The new episode will be up Wednesday with myself. My wife will be on there talking. But that's going to do it, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Roger. Over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV Podcast. Peace.